Hello and good evening. It's Tuesday night. It's 6:30 and it's time for the fourth Tuesday of the month, which, as you know, should normally be the last one for the month. However, this month we have five. So next month will be machine embroidery. So I am just going into, there we go, because I know I won't be able to see comments here. I say it every time, but it's absolutely true. So there we are. I found me here. You are first, Jenny. Hello. Pole position today. How lovely. You must have been sitting, waiting for me to come on. Hello, Patricia. Oh, I can see lots of other people watching. Hello, Sue. Hello, Amanda. So I don't know if you got my message. I took that post down. Absolutely beautiful projects, but it got a picture of the instructions, which we don't want those to be there, do we? So yeah, if you pop it up again with another picture of those amazing makes that you did, that would be great. Hello Amanda, hello Sharon, hello Liz and Wendy and Janet. Everyone on time indeed. Hello Jill and John, hi. And hello Karen and Linda and Maria. So, hello Judith. I haven't had a chance today, Judith. I will be, yes, somebody's given me a great IT guy, which I'll have a word with, but Bernadette's come back to me, and we'll perhaps have a talk tomorrow. So I'm hoping to get something done, but there's always something going on, and today I was completely busy with advent boxes, so watch this space. But yes, thank you for your help, everybody that's able to. Hello Pat, hello Tony. Lovely Sue. I haven't had a chance to have a look again. I knew you'd understand. Just one of those things, you know. But thank you. Hello Shirley, Dorothy, Raina, Bev, Janet. Chilly night. Yes, that's why I'm upstairs. Thought I can't be in the conservatory again. So I think once I've had a tidy round as well, this is where I shall come live from on most occasions. Hello Christine, hello Anne, Vanessa, Joanna, Pamela, Jill, Christine, Paula, Angela and Linda. Oops, gone to the wrong one. I did that the other night, didn't I? And I thought, who's that person? And I reported them. They weren't even on my live. Oh, what am I like? Hello Alison, hello Kathleen. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so I wonder what you've all been up to today. As I say, I have been working on the advent boxes. We're giving it a couple of weeks yet, so the balance for those that have reserved advent boxes will be due in a couple of weeks, but not quite yet. Hello Pollyann, how the devil am I? I am fine, thank you. A little bit chilly, my hands are cold, and you can see I've got a scarf on that keeps me warm. Thank you, Caroline, from a little while ago. Hello Julie, hello Marion, hello Joanne and Gita and Elizabeth. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Something crossed my mind then. Oh yes, that's right, because Patsy has sorted out. There are, if you've had a look in the group, which I was saying about last week, I think, where you can, please pop into the group every day if you can, just for a quick look to see if there's any updates or anything important that you need to know. Hello Diane. And one of the things, those whose memberships are expiring, the monthly one, not the monthly, the annual ones who are expiring at the end of this month, I have put your names at the top. It's in featured, so as soon as you go onto the page, it's right there at the top. So I'm just waiting on some of you coming through, see if you, or sending me an email. Oh, I didn't see whatever Judith is saying too. Oh yes, I briefly called it. Was it Joanne? Yeah, I haven't seen it here. Joanne, I can't see that you've said anything, but I did catch. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Did I say hello, Karen? I think I might have done. No, it hasn't come up on mine. So, Joanne, I think, has had another granddaughter. So, congratulations. Hasn't come up on my line here. It's just when I saw somebody saying congratulations, I thought, what have I missed? So, congratulations. Am I? Thank you, Jane. If only you knew how much time I took with my hair. And I'm sure some of you do the same, if it's a little bit longer. You put your hands into it, squiggle it round and put one of those clips in there, and that was it. So I shouldn't let you into these little secrets, but thank you, Jane. Anyway, that makes me feel a lot better. I don't like to look like a hedge being pulled through a hedge backwards, but on the other hand, I'm not the most elegant, you know. Hello, Patsy. Just discovered the boiler's not working. Oh, you got a hot water bottle and quilt to keep you warm. Oh, yes, it's a good idea, though. I think mine is working. Hello, Janet. I hope it gets sorted soon, though, because we can't have you being cold. Yes, Joanne replied to Joanne. Well, I never. That's all right, Joanne, sir. I can see you now. Oh, thank you. Sort of dusky pink, isn't it? When I find something, it's got pockets there as well. I won't lift it up. It's got pockets at the bottom, patch pockets, if you like. And when I see a style that I like, we've frozen a little. Oh, we're back again. Oh, thank you, Janet. It does need a cut, actually. And I did some weeks ago. Oh, Linda. Oh, I got comments up there. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's so kind of you. A little bit behind the phone, but there we go. Hello, Elaine. Hello, Sandra. Yeah, it's lovely to see so many of you. So, oh my goodness. I've left my samples downstairs. Having been on time, have you got time for me to run downstairs? Would you like to do a little dance? And as I'm upstairs and I've left them downstairs, oh, for goodness sake. Hello, Barbara. Bear with me. I'm not going to bust a gut because I don't want to fall down the stairs, but I shall return. I should have put them on. I should have thought, shouldn't I, as I sat here faffing about. Bear with 1 minute. Okay, I'm coming back. I'm on my way. I'm doing the Annika Rice. I'm back. Oh, I am back. I moved some things off the back of me. Thank you. God, don't we? Oh, I know. Right. Let me put one up here. If I put one, whoops, there, one there, and then the other one, we've got two sizes. We have a bigger one, there, whoops, oh dear, just there, so that you can see. How about that? Hello, Patricia. Thank you for the dancing. Hope somebody's singing. Hello, Marilyn. Well done. You got a party. Oh, you remembered me making most of the things. I know. How could I? Oh, look at all you dancers. Hello, Marilyn. No, I didn't rush. Hello, Yvonne. Oh, there we are. I haven't missed anybody now. There we go. Good. Now, Patricia, I love you to say they look complicated because boy, oh boy, they are so, so simple. Yeah, they do, don't they? But it's those points, isn't it? Those points and cutting out those shapes because, well, if you think of the two colours together, it's like a kite shape, but do we really want to be making or cutting out kites? There are blocks, oh, excuse me, blocks that have kite shapes within them, but, you know, I just thought nice things that are quick and easy and don't take too much cutting, which is why I haven't made any kits up at all, because as I say, on a regular basis you have plenty of fabric in your stash, and with these two in particular, you really don't make, yes, Gita, they would look lovely. In fact, the red on this one is Christmas fabric. There we are. It's the stuff. Can you see that? Oh, my mouth. Don't want to see that. That is some stuff Christmas fabric. I don't think I've brought the creamy one, the ivory one to you, but some of you in the sew along had the red option because that is lovely. But it's a really deep red. Hello, Jenny. Great Christmas presents indeed. Now the other thing, thank you, Barbara. Hi, Jane. June, even June. The other thing I would say, if you want, you'll see when we've done this, if you wanted to, good evening, Catherine and Jill, if you wanted to a fabric of whatever fabric you like, that could be, you know, an applique shape for all of your blocks, alternating them with plain fabrics, you know, whatever you wanted to do. So it doesn't have to be a place setting. It would go beautifully in the middle of a table and a plant pot on. What I would say, this point in the centre might not always come out perfectly because you've got lots of seams coming together. So you could always, they're right up your street, Patricia. Good, good. You can always put a button on there if you want to. Even plant pots have got a recess, haven't they? Or a concave part that the button wouldn't affect a plant pot on there. Or you could make a little Suffolk puff and pop that over the top as well. Or just a applique, a circle, just to hide it. You called your tree chap Darren, Daryl, Dave. He's Dylan. Yes. June Jane. Yes. And it's not as if I can't see because I can. So, and I shouldn't say it's my teeth. My teeth are there. Just me being me. Anyhow, shall I show you how it is made? And I think you're going to find it. I think some of you, I did put a post, what shape do you think? Oh, absolutely, Jane. Absolutely. I've got many, many buttons. They're going down quite quickly when I have to hide things as well. I did put on the post where I showed you a picture of them. Or a wee Dorset button. Yes, Gita. Now, do you know, I was going to, I might do in the future, but I've never made a Dorset button, but I think I could. There's so many different varieties. And the lady that used to be on Create and Craft by the name of, can't remember, but her Dorset buttons were fabulous, fabulous. And I would love to do those. So watch this space. You might at some point, because I think you can make it up as you go along, basically. With a general technique, of course. So I did ask the question under it. Gina B, you're absolutely right, Polly. Yes, Gina B. Lovely lady too. And I wonder what she's up to at the minute. Anyhow, I asked what shape do you think they would be made from? Oh, so a Dorset button, Judith, is, you're right, Gina B. A Dorset button is quite often made from with just a ring. And you basically, what would I say, just as a basis, if you've got a circular ring, and then you can bring strands of thread from one side to the other and make like spokes of a bike. And then you can go around those spokes stitching, sort of either weaving in and out, or like a maypole dance. You can go round and behind the next one, and make all sorts of things. There's lots of different ways, If you have a look on, say, Pinterest or Google it, you'll see lots of people. Well, you won't see lots of people, but you'll see Gina B. Google her, and you see what she comes up with. Hello, Carol. Just spotted the stitching time in. Yes, that's. I wonder if. Let's see. Oh no, it's going out. I used to have that right behind me. Whoops. There it is. Yes. I did that a little while ago, but it hasn't been made into anything yet. But yes, I love that design, especially as I could do it in one colour, so no changing any threads. You know how lazy I am, don't you? Oh, as you can see, that mess there. I really must get this sorted. Anyhow, I'm going to dip the camera down and we will start. So I will keep that. Whoops, and I won't. I will keep my phone just here so that I can see if there are any parts. Hello, Deborah. Don't worry, we're only just about to start. Now, fortunately, on this machine, I know how to turn the light down, so we haven't got lots of glare. So as you can see, there are two different sizes. This one I'm going to do is the smaller one, and what you need for the smaller one is 3 of each of 2 colours. So I've got 2 there, and I'm going to have 3 in a minute. Oops, I've got 4 actually. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. So these are going to give me, hello Elaine, to my placemat or my centrepiece, whatever you'd like to do with it. I've also got a bit of felt, because I'm just going to back it with felt. So it's about a 12-inch square, which I'm going to set aside. But these are basically what we're going to work with. Now, the PDF will tell you the sizes. This size is smaller than the bigger one. So let's just go down a little bit more. There we are. But with this one, we only need to make up 6 segments, because there's 6 spokes to the star. But on the bigger one, there it needs 7. So you'll need 4 rectangles in one colour and 4 in the other, and you'll have 1 segment left over, which I'm sure you could applique onto something as a kite and put a little string coming down from it with bows on the string, so it's like a kite. Hello Lynn, don't worry, we are just this minute starting. But as I say, all the measurements are on the PDF, which I have popped into the group for you to download. Now please remember, we are on the 22nd of October, with only 9 days to go till the end of the month. So if you start making sure all the PDFs are downloaded this month, that would be great, because this will go as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take 1 of each colour, and we're going to put them right sides together like so, and we are going to align our edges perfectly like that. And we are going to, I'm going to see if I can just come in a little bit closer. We are going to stitch the whole way around the edge. So let's just get that out of the way. So under the foot, 1/4 inch seam allowance. And we will stitch all the way down to the end. Now, you can either, there we are. You can either go off the edge like that and then start from the edge again. I am using my 1/4 inch foot, or I have moved my needle position to 5.5 so that I can have myself a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then I'm going right off the end and I'm starting right from the edge. Or if you want to start or stop a 1/4 inch from the edge and pivot, that is also absolutely fine. So I've started, apart from cutting the rectangles, I'm starting right from scratch, and I'm doing all 3 because it is quite quick, or very, very quick. Okay, so I've gone all the way. There we are. So as you can see from here, I've got a 1/4 inch seam allowance the whole way around, and it's all joined together. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly the same with the other one. Just as a matter of course, it doesn't matter at this point, but if you match them all up the same way, so you've got the whichever fabric on the top and the second one beneath, like so. Now this one, just to show you that it makes no difference at all, I think we'll go one more, I'm going to pivot. So that's absolutely fine. So I'm stopping a 1/4 inch from the end and turning. Well, I think that needs one more stitch. I'll do one more and then turn. Or, and you'll see, as I say, it makes no difference at all. But if you want to go straight off the end, rather than gauging your 1/4 inch seam allowance, that is absolutely fine too. So here is number 2 coming up, and cut all at the same time. You know that all of your pieces will be identical. So let's just line that up. So these should be identical if they want to line up. So I'll just hold that down around there, and I can see they're lined up perfectly. Okay, so here we go. Evening Jan. So I'll go off the end with that one. Doesn't matter which way, but sometimes it's just easier to go right off the end and then start from the edge again. Other times, if you want to, you could just stop 1/4 inch from the edge. Okay, and straight back on. Now I always make sure that my needle is going into the fabric, otherwise that's where you can have your thread breaking or a bit of nesting underneath. If you're starting, you can never gauge a 1/4 turn. No, but if you have a needle up down position, if you leave it, if the needle, when you stop stitching, if you leave your needle down, then if you lift your foot up, the needle foot here, and pivot it round, if the edge of your foot lines up, it's fine. You know, you can just carry on stitching. If it's too far over, you need to go 1 stitch back. And if it's not, if there's a bit of fabric on this side showing, you need to go back and do 1 more stitch. But apart from that, it is easy. So I've got all 3 here. Now you can, the next part, you can line them all up exactly and do the cutting, because we're going to cut these now, or you can do them one at a time, and I will just do them one at a time. Now I'm going to stand up because I much prefer standing up when I am cutting. So I've got the cutting mat and I've got my rotary cutter, and what we're going to do, I always make sure I've got them all, so you can either have dark fabric facing up or light fabric facing up. Now it's probably easier to see on the light fabric, so I'm going to put one, I'm going to take one here, and I'm going to make a diagonal cut from the top left to the bottom right. So I'm making sure my ruler is exactly along from point to point, and I'm going to cut. Right, so I've got 2 pieces. Doesn't matter now whether they get separated, but I've got 2 triangles basically. So I'm going to pop that over there and take in my next one too. There we are. So there is my rectangle again. So I'm cutting from top left to bottom right. Now, I don't actually think it would matter which way you cut. Hi, Patricia, and hello, Susan. It won't matter which way, as long as you do them all in the same direction. So if you're a lefty, you might want to do it that way. But as long as you do them all in the same direction, you will be absolutely fine. So opposite corner to opposite corner. So I have 6, because that's all we need, 6 points. So next little bit is we are going to chop off the corner. So that right angle corner, we're just going to cut that, just trim that point off, Sometimes I do it while it's still on the cutting mat, and do it with the rotary cutter. So just that one corner. There we go, taking care not to cut the stitches. Okay, so I'm going to turn my iron on. There we go, and turn my steam off, because I'm going to use that other little mat. So there I have all my pieces, and all we're going to do now is turn it to the right side. So I'm just popping that through like that. I've actually got my big needle here, so very carefully I'm going to push that point out, just turn it round there and push that into that. Ooh, should get a nicer point than that, and I did clip it off. There we are. So I've just turned it. So I'm going to do that with all 6. So I just turn that through. So I just put my finger up there and turn that through too. So you get a fairly nice point at the top. And as I say, all I'm doing is I'm putting my thumb in there to turn it through, and then a nice pointy, that's better. And as I say, we've only got 6. If you're doing the larger size, you will actually have made 8, because you'll use 4 pieces of fabric of each colour, but you will only need 7 of those. Okay, so nice and easy. So if you're making lots of these, oh, hello, Jack. Oh, dear. Oh, I hope they're not running out of fuel, or perhaps everybody's filling up before they decide to put the fuel tax up. You never know. Little while yet before that comes along, though. Okay, we won't get political, but it's good to have a guess, isn't it? Right, so I've popped those all. I'm just going to pull that a little bit more. So very carefully, I'm just using the end of my seam ripper just to pull that out a little bit. Okay, so I've got them all turned to the right side. Hello, Leslie. Okay, that's fine. Right, I'm just going to get my pressing mat and bring that here, because you know me, I always like pressing my seams together. However, on this occasion, I'm turning it to the wrong side, and I'm going to, this main seam here, I am going to press open. Oh yes, that's hot. So I'm just going to pull that apart and put my iron up the middle, so you can see there I've got that nice open seam, so that we don't have any thickness, any bulk in the seams. Then I'm going to pull this down, so we've got our point there. This seam I'm going to leave together. So as I pull that down for the point, I'm making that seam line up with the seam that I have opened. You can see that line down there. So once I have got that lined up, I'm just going to put the iron on again and give that a nice press. So can you see there how this seam lines up with the seam that I've opened? And that's what you're looking for. This is a little bit like Dresden plate, but with Dresden plate you have to guess, because that's all in one piece of fabric. You have to guess where the centre is. But here you've got it marked for you. So again, we'll do the same with this one. I'm just going to if you lay it flat and pull at that seam, and then just press in there. That's it. So we've pressed that seam open. Hi Mavis, hello Isabel. And then I say my seam that's going to be together just wants to go to the one side, and it's usually to my left. So as I say, I'm just pressing down on that point, and then you're intrigued, Susan, are you? It's just a nice, easy way of getting something perfect. So there is number 2. You can see there. That seam is lined up with my open seam there. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm only opening up this main, so the longest seam, the seam which is going to be the seam that faces outwards. And then having got that seam, as I say, I'm pressing down. There we go, just pressing down there. And once that's in place, I'm just going to press. I'm not going backwards and forwards, but with the pressing mats, the heat all goes back. The heat all goes back to within the fabric itself. That's why I'm using a dry iron. I don't use steam with a pressing mat because it defeats the object, and you possibly will get the smell, which is a bit like sheep, because it's made of 100% wool. So there we are. I've lined that up. Just give that a press, let the heat sink in there. But you see how beautifully flat that is. So 2 more to go. What I will say, I haven't done any more than 2 sizes in this. You could try out your own size. The sizes for these are in the PDF. But the differing sizes, you may need more or you may need less of your segments or your sections to get a nice flat circle, or you know, going around so that it lies flat. And not every rectangle, I don't think, will actually work because it might need just half an extra, so that particular rectangular size won't work. So the last one done, opened up that center seam, pressed down on the point there, just so that that seam lines up again with the open seam. Okay, right, I'm going to turn this off now just for the moment. So now that I have my 6 ready done, like so, I am now going to align them around so they will alternate. No, I'm not. I'm going to snip off, first of all, these little tails. So let's snip that off so that it really is like a kite. And then I can line them up as well. So there is one open and one open. And this is looking quite nice in the colourways. But you can imagine, as you're saying, Christmas ones would look lovely. So let's just line that round here. And just those little, so that we've got a perfect kite, basically. And all it does, all those points do, is create more bulk in that centrepiece. Okay, so those are going to go around like so and join together. So the next part of it is, with this one, because there's 6 pieces, you could join them in pairs and then put the pairs together, or you can join them one at a time into that complete circle, or you could do 2 threes if you wanted to. I am going to join one to another to another. So I'm going to take this one first of all, and I'm going to put it right sides together. Now the important thing is to line up this top edge, not the bottom, but line up this top edge just like your Dresden plate. So if you want to pin that at the top, you can, and then that should just line up at the bottom. So I'm going to start at this top edge, 1/4 of an inch in as usual, and I am going to reverse, so just make sure that aligns nicely down that edge. Whoops, wrong one. I've got 2 foot pedals down here. That's it. So, and try not to deviate inwards or outwards, but when you are popping that, to go down a normal 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and then open it out. I will just finger press that a little bit, and then I'm going to take my next one and I'm going to lay that right sides together, and again align that top edge there, and that will line up down here. Now if you, oh, there's a little bit, didn't cut that off quite. There we go, that's better. Whoops. So we'll realign that. Now if you're doing half and half, which you could, when you pull that down and when you push that seam that we just stitched backwards, it will all line up to a point, which is what you want to feel is happening. So we'll start at the top, always do a couple of stitches and then reverse, and then we'll go straight down there and keep going across, or keep your 1/4 of an inch fluent the whole way down. So that has gone in there. So then we'll take our next one here, and I'm going to pop that right sides together too, and line that up, and then that should also line up as well. So press a foot down, 2 backwards, 2 forwards, and then I'm just going to move that, whoops, there we are, so that my points line up down here, and that raw edge. So you can see what I'm doing there, that's it. So all the way down into that centre, and then open that up, and we will do the next one here. So I'm just going, as I say, the whole way, but if you want to, just make sure that lines up perfectly there. If you wanted to do 3 and then add 2 lots of 3, and then seam back there, I'll just align that up. If you want to do 2 3s and then go right across the centre, but I'm just going into that centre point, and I'll stop there. And I've got one more to add, and this one is going to go in here. So right sides together there, and we'll go into the centre. And if you, the other thing which is not right or wrong, but if you want to stop just shy of the centre by the 1/4 of an inch, and then you'll have room to manoeuvre those centerpieces and splay them out. I will show you what I mean in a minute. So I've just got my last seam to do, which is this one to this one. So we'll just pull that up and just align that. I can see that needs to go. Let's just put a pin in here to hold it. So let's just hold that top one there. And then at the bottom here, we are just going to align this here into the centre and make sure that just lines up for the centre. So we can pop a pin in there, or so I'm just holding that with my fingers. Make sure those raw edges are aligned there. In actual fact, I'm going to put a pin because I want that to hold pretty well. So let's just find a pin and hold it down the centre, and then I can make sure those align down that edge for when I take out my pin, because I'm not going to stitch over my pin. So a few stitches in and back again. Make sure those raw edges are aligned down here. Carry on stitching. and all the way to the centre. So let's have a look. So there we go. So we haven't got a bad point in the middle. It's all together, but now we just need to press. Now at this point of pressing, I will actually use a little bit of steam, but not for a while. So in the centre here, what I'm going to do, all of these seams that are together, I'm going to push them all round in the same direction. So, and then the centre, I'm going to twiddle that round. So I'm going to put my finger in there, and because I didn't stitch the whole way across the centre each time, that is being able to turn around to splay itself, if you like. So here we go. And so I'm going in this direction, just press that seam down, and then actually, yes, I'll move the mat, that's a good idea, and then press that in that direction, and similarly this one. So I haven't got any steam going on here because that is just pressing those. There we are. And press this one too in that direction, and this one too, and this one. Now what you will need to do, if you're not using a wool pressing mat, you're using your ironing board, I would use a bit of steam, because what you will need to do, that's press those nice and flat, but it's still a little bit ripply. But when you pop it onto the top here, what we're going to do is just we're going to pull it outwards, because that centre, there we go, I can see already that those ripples, because we are pulling it from the centre, we want that to go out, and that actually brings that all into place. Okay, we don't want that bulk in the centre, which means that we will get, if you leave it unpressed, you are going to have a good old ripply effect. But you can see how that is working now. I've got a bit of a, there we are, there's a thick point in there which I don't like. Let's just pull that over just a little bit. Just there. There we are. I think I can actually live with that. Okay, so give it a stretch from the points, and then that will pull that out really, really well. You know, give it two or three presses, like so. And then the next thing we need to do is, just for ease, so you could applique that on these pieces of thread where we started off joining them together. Oops, we don't want to cut your work. That's only a little bit there. Right, they're all gone. So the next thing we need to do is to, buffering on the phone, is to take our piece of felt, and we are going to pop that centrally onto here. Now, what I will say is pin. You want to make sure this is pinned really well. So I'm going to give a couple of pins into each section, just to hold this nice and in position flat. So yes, it does keep freezing. Gosh, you're good. Who's that? Carolyn. Hello, Carolyn. There we go. Just we'll get away with one just there. But you want to keep also pulling out from the centre, because you want those to lay beautifully flat. If you can put 2 pins in each section, all the better, because that will keep it perfectly flat. So I've got one more there. Just pop that in, and one more there. And then all I'm going to do, and even as I go round and I'm stitching, I'm going to stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Let's see, so I'm actually going to move my, that's it, I'm going to move my needle over, I'm going to take that pin out. Oh, there's my pin cushion there. And that one. And I'm going to start just in that, just there. Oh no, perhaps I want to come over as close as I can. Oh, I can't see, yeah. So I'm going to increase my stitch length to a 2.5, which is standard for going around here. So I am just judging where I am stitching here, because I haven't got anything to line up on my foot. So I have come to that point. I need to go one more step. I can see, that's it. And then pivot, and then we'll come back down the other side. And when we come back down to the other side, I'm stopping in the seam there. And then I'll just pivot round here, and again, I'm just pulling from that centre. So I'm stitching quite close to the edge, just to hold that down. Now you wouldn't, it wouldn't hurt if you were to do 1/4 of an inch around there, seam allowance, or not seam allowance, in from the edge, because everything is going to be nicely stitched down. There won't be any raw edges coming out because it's all folded back. So lovely, neat edge to all of this. It's all turned. So that's why you could do a longer or a larger allowance around, but always stop right in that seam where the two fabrics come together. I'll just take that pin out there and carry on straight down to the next seam. It's almost as if there's guidelines there for you without you having to make any marking. So again, just rub your hand over there, making sure that's nicely splayed out, and it's going to fit, one more, fit beautifully. So take that pin, pull that out, and then start stitching again. Whoops, not too fast like that. And because there are only 6 points, it's not taking very long to get round here at all. One more. So I think we've got 1.5 points to do. So just this one now, down this side. And again, just keep pulling out. Don't let your pin stick in your hand or your finger, like I was just about to do. That's it. And then into the seam, pivot round. We'll just take that one out, pull that. So I'm still smoothing it out so that we're nice and flat. And one more into the seam, and then one down to here. And when we get to where we started, I would actually do a couple more stitches over the ones where we started. That's it, directly over, and you won't know where we started at all. Okay, so we'll just cut that little bit of thread just there. Not the best scissors I've got by any means. And then over onto the reverse and trim that off. And you see you've got your star shape there, nice and flat. And all we need to do then is just cut the whole way around. Now I haven't got a decent pair of scissors up here. What I did do, let's just have a look. When I was cutting my, let's have a look here. Let's see, I will show you the cutting then. What I did do when I was cutting the other ones, there we go. I used my ruler, and actually that's not very good at all. I've got a creaky chair tonight as well. Let's use this little ruler here so you can see what, yes, you can see that better. So what I did, where my little 1/8 of an inch markings, I don't know whether you can see that at all, I have 1/8 of an inch markings like here. Whoops, can you see that? No. where this 1/8 of an inch, oh, you can see, yeah, 1/8 of an inch, the quarters or the halves come out, sorry, the half there, that's the 1/2 an inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, there's the half. It comes out, that little marking comes out longer. This shorter one for the 1/4 of an inches, that one comes out to about an 1/8 of an inch. So I lined the edge of that up to the edge of my star, and I actually worked with a smaller rotary cutter, which, oh, I haven't got my smaller rotary cutter up here. So I would use, if you have got a 28mm, I have got this, and I am going to cut down nearly to the middle, but not quite. And then I'll just show you the one piece here. So I'm lining up those little marks, which you can cut by hand with scissors, but, and I just keep turning that round. I am not going close to that corner point because I don't want to cut into that. So I'll just do this little bit for a start. So that's cut to the edge there. Oops. There we are. And so where I haven't got quite into that bit here, you can see I haven't got decent scissors here. So I just then trim that little bit with my scissors. So actually I will just carry on because I think we've got plenty. So nice little ruler makes things easy, and I'm lining up those short markings so that I've got about an 1/8 of an inch. An 1/8 of an inch as my edging. I must say I invested in a pair of scalloped edge scissors the other day, and I'm itching to make something with those, but I haven't found anything as yet. Okay, so that little mark up to the edge of my segment and not quite into the center, but I'm going past the tip. I'm just lining that up so that that's cut. If you want to cut with scissors, absolutely fine, but I just felt that I could get a more accurate finish if I used a little ruler like this. So that is in, or you can just gauge it. I'm sure you can gauge the 1/8 of an inch, but it's nice to have something to line it up to so that you know. Oh, went a little bit close there, not concentrating. There we go, and there. Okay, so I might even go around all of this and trim it. So we have this little bit here, so I'm just cutting up to, and not into. Don't think I went right to the end there. So this is the wool and acrylic felt that I have. I think there's, what did I say? I think about 70-30, 70% wool. There we are. And there we are there. So it's just a case of cutting into that little recess there, because it's hard to get your rotary cutter in there without cutting too far and then into your patchwork. So just get close to where you cut to. That piece should have been cut anyway, but and then in there just like that, and then out again on the line. Okay, and there is your little mat, which will look better on the white background so that you can see. If I was being picky, I would put something on the top there. My centre there isn't perfect, but I can live with it. You know, I could put a pin cushion in the middle or whatever else. Oh, thank you. So, that is it. That is absolutely it. There we are. Whoops. Come round a little bit. But it was easy, wasn't it? You see, from there, doesn't look too bad. The centre's not perfect, but you can't really tell, can you? So there is our little star. And sorry, Jill, I didn't send you. I was a bit late in doing it, and I thought there may be a mistake. But do you know what? Let's put it over the top there. Okay. So there is our little easy two-tone star placemat, whatever you would like to use it is as. If you would like to use it as an applique in the centre of a patchwork block, they're quite quick and easy to do. Oh gosh, I haven't got the felt on the website. What I can do, I'm sure I've got a picture of all the colours. I will pop it. Trish Atkins, I don't think it is me. Thank you, everybody. I'll put a picture in the group, and so that you can see. I'm sure I've numbered them all so that you can see exactly what they, which colours are which. But yes, I thought it was nice and easy for you, but it's very useful as a yes, absolutely. Thank you, Bev. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everybody. So, I feel probably November time I may have a sample sale coming up, because just today, that's 3 samples, you know, or Christmas present. If you would dare anyone to put anything on it, would you? Oh, Jan. No, it's washable though, isn't it? Absolutely washable. Thank you, thank you. So, I am going to leave you there with your thoughts. The PDF is in the group. Oh, we're buffering tonight. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Angela. Make sure you've got all the PDFs downloaded. Oh, that's all right, Sue. No worries. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Joanna. So, yes, get all your PDFs downloaded. We will have, I think it'll be next Thursday, actually, will be the monthly giveaway. So it comes around so quickly. And those of you, as I say, whose annual subscriptions are coming up for renewal, I think I saw Jan was there, Tracy, just trying to think of the names there. Have a look in the group though. If you don't want to do annual anymore but like to transfer to monthly, that's absolutely fine. But if you could send me an email. Thank you, Beverly, and thank you, all downloaded and printed. Fantastic. Okay, yeah, if you could send me an email to see what you would like to do. But the month is rapidly coming to a close. Anyhow, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you on Thursday with a surprise. Now, the surprise might be that I'm not live, but I might be. It's just that sometimes I think I need to take a little bit of a break. But my mind is still going, and when I come up with things, I think I've got to show you. I must show you how to do that. So, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you one way or another on Thursday, but I will see you on Friday for the Prim Vario tool demonstration. So enjoy your evening and tomorrow, and I'll see you Thursday, Friday. Bye for now.